Hello, welcome to Kate's Egg. Today I'm here in Endelave, Denmark with Povl Toft, a very close family friend of my family's in Montana. And you actually spent some time in Montana, which is so awesome.
Yes. On a farm in Tote, 1981 and 1982.
That is so cool. And you're also a pilot, like my dad.
Yes.
And I've done my first solo recently, so we're going to take a trip in the Piper Cub today.
Yes. One time in the old days, a Piper Cub was the most usual light aeroplane. When people saw a small aeroplane, they would say it's a Piper Cub. They're easy to recognize. When they were new, they were all yellow.
Yes. I've never flown in a Piper Cub before, or with a control stick.
Well, it's easy.
Well, this will be very fun. Thank you.
My glider, first solo. Actually, you do three, and that was where winds towed. You know, they have a truck with a big like a fishing thing, but with a big diesel engine and a steel cable, and then about 3/4 mile stretch. So when you fly gliders, when you prepare, they take the slack out of the cable, and it sort of, you can see it moving in the grass, and it rattles, and then at some point it's taut, and then you look out at the guy holding the wing and wave everything clear, and then they open the throttle on this thing. And it has a very light glider, of course, and it has maybe 200 horsepower or something.
Wow.
So it just accelerates like a race car, and you're in 20 yards, you're off the ground, and then climbing actually quite steep. But the funny thing, in Germany, after we land in the evening, or late afternoon, so after this was done, the instructor comes over. I didn't know this, and it wasn't a bucket of ice water or anything. The instructor says in German, left or right. I had no idea, so I just said one of the things. And then the instructor grabs this person, bend you over, forward, and hold, and then he slaps whatever side you have said, and suddenly you have 20 people, all the other students, in a long line, and they come running, and they slap as hard as they can.
Oh no!
So in that evening, I can only sit on one side.
Oh my goodness! So would each country, I guess, have a different tradition?
Actually, you get a little bunch of flowers that the instructor picks out in the field while he's watching the aeroplane.
Yeah, that's the Danish tradition.
Yes.
Oh wow, that's pretty
I
cool.
know in the Air Force, they grab the new pilots when they come down from the solo and throw them in they have like a pond for water, water pond for the fire.
That is so
like
cool.
A fire reservoir. They would throw them out there. But the glider pilots in Germany, they slap you behind.
It's a memory I'll have forever. I had no idea. My instructor had said to me on a very bad day once, would you like to try it by yourself? And of course I hadn't done any landings that day by myself, so I said no. So when he asked me, I thought it was a test of good decision making, so I said no. And he said, are you sure? And I said, are you joking that I could possibly solo? And then he told me I could, and I was just very nervous but super excited, and I definitely wanted to.
Yes.
I did all my landings completely that day, and it was just dead wind as well.
Anyway, let's go.
Okay, yes. I'm now here with Victoria, Paul's daughter, and you're also a pilot, which is so awesome.
Hi, yes. In this family, flying is part of life. So I grew up with flying, and it was kind of a natural progression to get a license of my own.
That's amazing. And do you love it?
Yeah, I really like it.
Yes.
Especially the plane you're in right now, which I'm sure you'll enjoy the flight you're about to go on, because it's really, for me, it's it's like real flying. You can open the door, and when the weather is like today, it's really nice.
That's amazing. And what did you learn to fly in?
I learned to fly actually in the Cessna next door.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the one I schooled in.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's the transport plane, if you will, but it's also, I enjoy flying that one as well.
That is awesome. Do you remember your first solo experience?
Yes.
Was it scary?
Yeah, a little bit. Like I wasn't I didn't know it was going to be that day.
That's the same that happened to me too.
So the instructor just said, I think you're doing fine. I'm just going to get off. And I was kind of thinking in my head, I was like, are you sure? Like, you know, right?
Yes.
But then at the same time, you're a little bit apprehensive. And then the first time you give full power when you're alone in the plane.
It takes off immediately.
Exactly. I was so surprised.
Me too. The scariest part was the takeoff for me, not the landing.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed it. That was really nice.
Yes. Now I'm here with Povl Toft, and you also spent time with my family farming in Montana and got to experience Montana harvest,
Yes.
which is quite amazing.
I was there from Easter 1981 until just before Christmas 1982.
Oh wow.
So I experienced all the doings on the farm, and skiing and snowmobiles and water skiing in the summer. And, it was great.
That's awesome. And would you say agriculture is very different in Denmark?
Yeah, certain parts of it, of course. In the beginning, mainly the main thing to notice is the size of the equipment. Well, here we can grow a lot of things, and the fields are smaller, and we get a lot more rain.
Yes, so that's much different from Montana. Did you drive combine at harvest?
Yes, I did. Actually, the second summer I was there, I drove a lot on the combine. Yes.
That's my favorite part.
But I also drove the grain truck, and of course tractor, and sprayed and picked rocks when the time was there. So I more or less tried everything. I went actually with your dad to a branding at your brother or your uncle Short's in Augusta.
Oh,
It was quite an experience.
I bet.
It was quite nice.
Now you're an aviation mechanic in Denmark,
Yes,
which is awesome. So you're also a pilot, just like my dad.
yes.
And your two daughters are also pilots, which is phenomenal.
Well, my whole family flies. We have a couple of old aeroplanes, so that keeps us going. Especially here, we are on a small island, have a landing strip right next to the house. It's easy to get back and forth.
What are some of the tractors you have here?
In this country, a lot has happened over the last 40 years. It's 40 years ago I was in Montana. So now, actually, some of the farms got tractors almost the size of the tractors you have. One of the major differences maybe we don't have the big headers on the big combines, because the barley and the wheat fields are...
They're spaced further apart.
Yes.
Because we don't have the rainfall to seed as many kernels per row.
Yes.
And as close together.
Yes.
And because of your extra rainfall, you're able to produce more crops. So when you seed more, you'll have a bigger harvest. But if we seed more, that plant will just die because there's no water to help it grow. What are your biggest producing crops for Denmark, or what is Denmark known for agriculture?
I think actually mainly we're known for production of pork, and because of that we have large fields of barley. But over the years, as it seems like the temperature has been raising. In the old days, they were growing corn in northern Germany, but now actually people grow corn up here as well. So that's used a lot for feed.
And kind of advancements in technology helped farmers be able to do that?
I'm sure it does, yes. It takes different equipment.
What would be the normal size of your combine header?
I'm not working in agriculture anymore, but I see many combines. In the old days, the header could just sit on. They could drive along on the road, but now they are on a trailer behind the combine, so they're actually quite big.
What type of vegetables and fruits do you grow here?
My dad bought this place more than 50 years ago, and the first 25 years we actually cultivated the soil and had barley or wheat or rape seeds. My dad also planted a lot of trees. We have hazelnuts, walnuts, plums, but it's not more than ourselves that we use and friends come and get.
And I love that you have such a large focus on farm to table here and fresh food. I mean, you bike down to the vegetable garden to pick up vegetables for dinner.
Yes, every day.
and that's really nice.
It is.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and I've just had a wonderful time. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for coming. It was very nice. We're looking forward to your next visit.
And we're looking forward to you coming to Montana.
Oh, we should. Yes, yes.
Most definitely.
We miss it. I miss it. Yes.
Bye!
Farvel og tak for i dag.
For the flight.
Well,
That was very enjoyable.
you're welcome. Anytime. And I'll come and have a flight with you in Montana.
Yes, that would be wonderful. You're welcome anytime.
Good. Thank you.